Hi everyone, I'm Nasta. I'm from UCSB. I'm in for pin tests there, and sometimes with these tests, would have to run such checkups. And today I'm going to talk about how you can run such tests with the PDF files with the JavaScript embedded. So some introduction so that we understand what I'm going to talk about. A few words about actual statistics in the beginning, then we'll try to create a PDF file in our notepad. We'll add the JavaScript there, then we'll speak about how the documents can be embedded into JavaScript with the use of Python, and then we'll check out how we can get rid of antivirus solution, like we said previously. This is the statistics of positive technologies that I used previously. Last year, main number of attacks was through malware. Half of them accounted for social engineering attempts. Yet, in more than half of the cases, malware was spread through electronic mail, through email. So for such pen tests, I would like to get, no, let me say it differently. Normally what happens, a fraudster comes up with a document or a link and sends it by email to the victim. The victim gets it. Normally there is a threat, a threatening message normally. So please open this file, otherwise so forth. Or for example, your salary has arrived, just the major hook. So the victim opens this file, and then there is something horrible occurs while opening this file, and the fraudster gets the necessary feedback, some personal data, shell, or whatever. So for such checkups, a document is required with no exploits, not being a malicious one, being benign. Still, it would be able to send to the pen tester some feedback that there was some payload executed. So why not use the PDF format for that? So Adobe had added JavaScript in there, did it in favor. So it's a nice readable format. There is nothing unclear here in PDF that we open here in the notepad. So if we would like to get the base, would be given links to pages right here. Then I'm only just showing here one page in object 3. This page stores some resources, just a size of the font, and the actual content is embedded in object 4. It's kind of a flow of bytes, a stream of bytes, simple as that. It says a size 6 font, hello world, just a message, and then we'll have to get the crosslinks objects. Adobe is capable of reading it anyway, but ideally that would be just the list of all of the changes till it reaches the object. Then its trail, and then the link to the source object, and the another shift should be added to the cross links table. And then there is a marker in the end of the file, etc. Basically, this is what it looks like we expect it to look. In the Adobe Reader, JavaScript can be added there anywhere. That's added anywhere where an action is conducted. This is what it looks like, the type of action, JavaScript, and with JavaScript we add a very simple alert script, like we've all seen it here. So with the names branch, which runs in the document till the end, and you can add some functions in there, my code for example, and you can come back to this JavaScript when necessary. And this is what this warning pop-up sign looks like. That's the first thing that runs while launching the document. Yet executing this code in PDF is a strange thing. As soon as Adobe had added there, it was immediately exploited for attacks. And in 2007, API was created for that, which splits the functions into the privileged ones and non-privileged ones. All the critical functions should have run in the privileged context. So, for example, launch URL. It launches URL. It addresses to a third-party resource. It's a privileged function. So it's important to say that the pop-up message with the permission button should spring up, and only after the user clicks this button, the function executes. I really very much liked this library with the repository, to which I have left the link here on this particular slide. And we'll be adding a very simple code, app alert. All the fonts, for example, have become unavailable, so we need to download the codes and fonts from some other resource. So this is what it looks like, a dictionary, a code, etc. This is what this string of code looks like. I think it's quite clear, and a few links and obfuscation, of which I'm going to share some views a little later. And this is what is happening. We are launching the actual alert pop-up. There's nothing interesting in here, and now a few interesting things. Before the user clicks this allow permission, DNS request will be generated, and it does not resolve. If it had resolved, then it would have ended. But the PDF runs it like this. It does not resolve it, and just one final string resolves. And that's what happens. And we can track that the document has been opened. The previous alert cannot be closed. You can only kill this process or click OK alternatively. So the user gave the permission, so the data acceptance started. And that's what goes to Adobe Reader. In different applications, it works a little bit differently. And we all know that if a user opens it in a browser, in a Chrome browser, it uses its own reader, and its functionality is even more limited than the Adobe Reader. And if I would like to launch the script, the same script, in the names and the open action, it would not run. But you can run it in the annotations, by the way. And the construction looks a little bit more complicated, and this is what it does. A light blue shade applies to the area, and it applies there while this script runs. This alert pops up, and you cannot do anything but closing the tab. But the user will not be getting any feedback from the reader. They will just simply click OK. It seems like nothing has happened, but the request will be sent, however. A few words about obfuscation. Two methods I've singled out. Flows, for instance, is the first one. We had taken a look at them previously without filters. What can you do with the flow? Add a filter, like I'm showing here. It seems like nothing is clear, nothing is transparent. But these filters is more just like, putting obstacles on the way of the people who are going to work with these files, addressing issues, and you can edit till the actual infinity. So in the flow, objects can be loaded, a few objects, with a special object STM key shown here, and you can show the shift, the number, the link to the first object, etc. And the manipulation with strings. So you can replace as many letters in the name as you wish. to this representation, and you can create by the 16-bit representation such names. And some software, how to put it, that specialize in reading the PDF format, such software cannot perceive it. In actual fact, it was more than enough. I've just put this file, uploaded it to VirusTotal. It had coded it in 16-bit, and it resolves it and says everything works fine and it's clean. I'm almost done. Such examples of code have been uploaded to my repository, so you can check it out for examples later on, and downloaded it. Yes, you can take pictures, and I'm actually quite done, and thank you very much for joining me here. Do I have time for questions, by the way? Yeah, like always, we have 10 minutes for questions, if any. Can the user not see the pop-up window? I repeat your question, right? You need to use microphones for questions. We can't hear questions without mics. And the audience can't seem to hear them. So if you continue asking your question, please grab a mic. So she's answering the question which she didn't quite understand, and she asks, okay, as soon as you get it resolved, and in the Adobe Reader, you can shut down the launch of such scripts, third-party scripts, and nothing will be launched. And you can launch it in a sandbox if you like. So yes, it can be done. So in order to remove this permission window, you need to exploit it, and there are such ways of bypassing it. In Adobe Reader, there are such ways. I hope this answers your question, and it does, yes. And we have the next question, and please use the microphone for the question. You can't hear me, but I'm here with the mic, and I'm here with the question. You're talking about JavaScript, running it in Adobe, and you mentioned that if the PDF reader is running on a different engine, different ways should be introduced there to run such exploits. The question is, why not use not only JS, but some executable environment of the operating system itself? In Adobe, if it launches, you can add a payload to CND. For instance, Adobe launches from user account on the corporate environment, laptop, computer, and Adobe can call the launch of this third-party application. Did you consider such cases of launching it in the operating system environment? Yes, I did consider that, but API would not allow us use it without the exploit. You need to overflow the buffer, or you need to exploit some kind of vulnerability. Just doing it through child process, it would not run, it would not execute it. It didn't anyway. Any other questions? Need to use microphones for questions. Microphones, please do that. What was the question? I think yes, that's the answer. And well, I can't really answer this question exactly. I didn't tackle that you're asking about, but maybe some corporate antivirus will do, like Windows Defender. Like Windows Defender is sufficient just to send it to some corporate mail, but it would just bypass the filter, and the user may launch this file, finding it on their email. I think I'm done. Yes, no other questions, and